everyone, it's Mary, and today I thought I'd do two things at once in this video because I have acquired some books lately that I plan to read basically this month. I know we're already a little bit far into June, but this is a sort of TBR for June/July for months to come. Either way, these are the books that I plan to get to sooner rather than later. So firstly, I'm going to mention the books that are new to my shelves. So this is the whole part of the video. Last week I actually filmed this video, but then I was not happy with the footage. I did not have time to refilm it until now, and so I just deleted it. And in the meantime, this book that I have acquired and that I was currently reading, I finished yesterday, and it is The Night of the Hunter by Grubb. So basically, most of the books that I'm going to mention that I have acquired have to do with a book club that I'm in. I managed to get myself into, I think, 2 more book clubs, which is something that I just told to myself in the beginning of the year. I just want to take this easily. I don't want to have many, required readings for book clubs and such. It's supposed to be fun and chill and relaxed. And although all the book clubs I'm in are very chilled and very relaxed, as every book club is probably, I personally don't feel any pressure to be reading all the books that we are reading each month. But still, there's a sense inside of me that tells me to follow along and to read along with the other people in the book club. So this is a brand new book club that was just created by Adam over at Memento Mori. I'm just going to leave a link to his channel down below. He's amazing, so you should just go check him out and subscribe to him if you're not already subscribed. And he decided to pick 12 books that have a film adaptation to them to read one each month starting in June. So this was the first pick for June, and he actually already selected all the books and movies. So if you are interested in this kind of book club in which, as I said, each month we read a book and then we watch the movie, you can check out the list that is complete of all the books and movies. And if it sounds like something that would be interesting to you, then you can join in. And I thought it was very interesting, although I don't think those are books that I would pick up willingly. It's not like my kind of genre really, because it's very much focused around thrillers and noirs, and it's just a genre that I'm a little bit scared of, I have to admit, so I was never very much drawn to it, but it fascinates me somehow. So I just thought this was a perfect excuse to read something different and to, sometimes go outside of my comfort zone and discover something else may be a good idea. So I'm very happy that I joined, and I really enjoyed this book. This book was written in 1953, and it is about a family in Ohio in which the father of the family, out of desperation, kills 2 people to steal some money, and then he gets caught and sentenced to death. But somebody's after the money that he actually hid somewhere around the premises of the house. At least this is what people believe, or what the hunter of the story actually believes. And maybe the kids of this man that stole the money know something about where it's hidden. So this man, the hunter, will stalk the children and the house in order to get the money. So that's basically the premise of the book. I won't say much more about it because I already read it, as I said, and this is not a wrap-up. So this one. Next up, we have another book for another book club, which is the Read Around the World book club hosted by Mel over at Mel's Bookland Adventures. And this month we are traveling to Romania with The Fox Was Ever the Hunter by Herta Müller. From reading the blurb, it sounds like something which is going to be very dark and very unsettling, because it talks about Romania being under the regime, and in this dictatorship there is a group of people that are very different from one another. One is a school teacher, then you have some kind of artist, maybe a photographer, no, a musician. Yeah, a musician, and one of them is a spy and works for the secret police, so they need to learn how to trust one another. And it basically revolves around trust and fear and living under a dictatorship and the hardship of that. I never read anything from Romania, and I'm very much eager to get to this one. Next up is the June pick for the Tales & Co. book club hosted by Yamini over at The Skeptical Reader. And I mean, each month I check every book club, you know, what book are we going to read, and then decide whether I join in or not. And this month with the Tales & Co, they were reading this book that I thought it was going to be interesting for me, but I didn't know the size of it. Not that usually is that much of a problem, but considering my plans for this month, this is a big one, and I'm not sure that I'm going to be finishing it, aside from the fact that I did not start it yet. And it's already the 10th of June, but yes, the book is very big. And it's Romantic Outlaws. So The Extraordinary Lives of Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley by Charlotte Gordon. I've seen nothing but great reviews on Goodreads, and it sounds very interesting because it talks about the life of Mary Shelley and her mother, and how their lives were very much eventful and were very much inspiring for women in general and for women in literature in particular. And I just think is fascinating, even though I don't know anything about Mary Shelley. I didn't even read Frankenstein, which I ordered actually, so I will receive Frankenstein next week. Even though I never read it, I am of course familiar with the story, so I was even thinking whether I should probably check out Frankenstein before diving into this one, but I don't think it's that necessary, so I just think I'm going to read this and maybe read Frankenstein alongside or just afterwards. There's no rush in it, but I definitely plan to read Frankenstein as well. It is a big one, but I hope it flows nicely. If I don't finish this in June, I will keep on reading in July, so I'm not really fussed about that. And then the most recent book club that I joined is, I'm not really sure about the name. Is it the Daphne du Maurier project or just Daphne du Maurier read along? I'm not sure, I'm so sorry. The book club is hosted by Ange over at Beyond the Pages. I'm just going to leave a link to her channel, to the announcement, to everything down below. And I really joined quite happily because I just recently discovered Daphne du Maurier. Well, just recently got into her books, into her writing style, and I fell in love with her, and I just thought, well, I need to read all of her works. And then Ange, most conveniently, decided to read all of her body of work in the span of, I think it's 2 years. She has written quite a lot of books, so we are going to go in chronological order, and the first one that I am expecting again in the mail is The Loving Spirit by Daphne du Maurier. I don't know anything about this book. I just want to go into it blind, and I'm quite happy to be led by her writing style. I'm so excited to just dive into more of her works, and the fact that there is a book club that wants to do just what I was intending to do, it's amazing. So I'm going to do that as well. And then another book that I wanted to be reading this month, just because I feel like I've not picked up anything from my shelves that I already own. I decided to check out another big one, which is Wild Swans by Jung, Chang, and I'm just going to put the picture here of the original English version. The author is Chinese, even though the book was written in English, and she basically talks about her life, the life of her mother and her grandmother. So it spans basically a century into this family saga that basically represents a nation, which is China, and it is sort of a historical document to it. So I'm very much eager to get into this story because I don't know a lot about China and I wish to know more. This book was recommended to me years and years ago, and I found nothing but great reviews and opinions on Goodreads and Booktube as well. I'm pretty sure I've seen someone mention this book, so I've had this on my shelves forever, and it's about time that I check this out. And then just to briefly mention what I am currently reading, so plan to possibly finish into the month of June. I feel like this is very ambitious of me, but I am still reading Pregnancy and Childbirth by, God, I cannot remember the name, Sheila, Kitzinger, yes, which I mentioned before. I had the Italian version from the 80s, and this that I'm showing you is an updated version. I'm loving this book to bits. Now I'm in my 7th month of my pregnancy, so I found this book very useful, and I'm still reading alongside my pregnancy basically. So that one. Then I'm reading Princesses Behaving Badly by Linda Rodríguez McRobbie, and I'm not really enjoying this that much. Probably would have DNF'd this if I didn't request this book for review, because I'm not enjoying it at all. I don't like the way in which it's written. I don't like the way in which it's structured. I just feel like it's very superficial and really isn't leaving a mark on me. And yes, I'm reading this. I'm kind of like 40% into this, and I hope to finish this very soon. Then I am reading Written My Own Heart's Blood by Gabaldon, and this is the last-ish book in the Outlander series. I heard that there is another one on the go. I don't know when she's going to finish this bloody series, or I would never have picked up this book. Because even letting too much time pass between each book, as I did, because the previous one to this I read a year ago and I did not remember anything, and it took me basically 2 hours to gather my thoughts and be prepared to get into this one with some kind of knowledge. So yes, I don't plan to read any other series that is not finished. I am not even a quarter of the way in. Well, yeah, probably a quarter of the way in, and yeah, this series really fell flat for me after a while. I did really enjoy the first 4 books, and then it was kind of a hit or miss for me. This one is good enough for me to keep going, but yes, I will talk about the whole series once I finish this, or possibly when I finish the latest one. I don't know, I still have to think about that, but I will not talk about this because it's the 8th book in a series, but I'm reading this one as well, so it's well worth mentioning. So this was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know if you read any of the books that I mentioned, and we can chat in the comments down below. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!